Can you have too many guitars as a
No,
guitarist?
God fucking no. No way.
Some guests are serious, some are really funny. What are you waiting for? Come and get this honey. It's absolute bedlam, absolute bedlam, absolute bedlam. Join the hype, like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Absolute Bedlam Podcast. Hope everyone's well. First things first, before I introduce the guest, someone's 3D printed me the Absolute Bedlam logo, and I know that that's playing havoc on my Zoom background, but I just want to quickly give a shout out to one of my friends, Lee, who's really gone above and beyond. He's actually given me a stand for it to sit in as well. And
That's rad.
yeah, it's kind of sat next to my little setup now. So slowly getting better at buying equipment, Dave. It takes a while, as I'm sure you can relate. But yeah, so
Yeah.
tonight on the episode we've got David Lyon. Is that right, Leon?
Lion,
Lion,
like the animal.
like
Yeah.
the animal. Okay, thank you. Should have probably gone through that before recording. I am a professional, I promise. So yeah, got online content creator, musician, father, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, first question I tend to ask most of the guests straight out the gate, early doors, is how did you find school life, David? How was it for you?
Oh man, we're just jumping right in, which is a good question. I did hear this on your previous podcasts,
Hmm.
and I kind of struggle to answer this one as I probably have a very different background in school than the average person. Um, so I'm a first grade dropout, actually. Um, I was homeschooled all my life,
Okay.
besides first grade. So my experience was definitely a lot different. Um, I, I mean, I did some outside activities with school, as I got a little bit older, into more high school. I went to jazz band actually in middle school. They allowed me to, even though I wasn't, enrolled into the school. They just thought that I was, I guess, that good. Just joking. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so and that's actually where I met my wife. Was in middle school, and so definitely a lot different than the average person. I locked myself inside my room for about 8 hours a day instead of doing schoolwork,
Hmm.
to focus on music, actually.
Yeah.
So I was that kid that was constantly playing. That's what mattered most to me, was just kind of my progression in music and just kind of having fun and learning the instruments. I
Hmm.
started off playing drums when I was 10. Um, well, I played piano when I was 8 or 7. And then, yeah, I moved to drums when I was 10. Did that for hours on end. And then it was around 13, 14 is when I started playing guitar. And I just did that for 8 hours a day and just nonstop. Didn't have a ton of friends, um, because, yeah, I was
Hmm.
homeschooled and didn't get out much. But with the friends that I did have, it started some bands,
Hmm.
early on, and yeah, and it was I would definitely say I enjoyed that time. It was definitely different than your average person. So
Hmm.
yeah, it kind of shaped me into who I am today.
Hmm. If you could go back in time and you were offered a normal, generic sort of upbringing instead, where you'd go to school for 6 hours and not necessarily play guitar until you got to go home, looking back now, do you wish that you had that instead, or would you not change a thing? Do you have any sort of regrets about that at all?
I
Not that
mean,
it
I
was
think
your decision, obviously, but yeah,
yeah, I think that when I was young, I just wanted to be in school with friends.
yeah,
I did not like that kind of aspect of growing up. But I think that as I've gotten older, the outcome probably would have been the same, if not as good,
Mm.
because I was able to hone in on my crafts
Yeah.
instead. Because while everybody was at school, I was playing music. So,
Yeah.
um, and at an early age, I got my hands on, Pro Tools, I
Mm.
think when I was 15. And so I was creating music while everybody was at school
Yeah.
and, recording and just creating as much as I could and showing it to my friends. And, my friends that I did have wanted in. And
Mm.
so I don't think that I could have done that.
Yeah.
So I think that would I go back and do it again? I would. I think I would probably do it the same.
Okay.
If not, I would probably, if I were to do it again, I would probably lock myself inside my room for 10 hours a day instead of
Yeah.
8, and just kind of get better quicker. And
Yeah.
yeah, but like, for my daughters today, they are in public school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want them to miss out on that social life.
That's
So
fair.
that's the one thing that I wish I had back.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite a lot. With sort of homeschool, is there an opportunity? I've had a couple of people on that are from the YouTube sphere that have had a similar homeschool experience. Is there like an opportunity to like meet other homeschool kids? Or is it
Yeah,
very
but
segregated and sort of you stay in your box and don't integrate with other people?
so yes, there is a lot of opportunity to go meet other fucking nerds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what it was. And I remember as a kid, and I grew up in a strict religion as well.
Okay.
So the kids that were um also homeschooled were just fucking dweebs, and I wanted nothing to do with them really.
Yeah.
I was kind of that cool kid, but not really cool. Uh, thought I was cool, who played instruments and stuff, and everybody else, um, were just,
Hmm.
nerds, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, and especially today, there's a lot more opportunity for homeschool. I think homeschooling is becoming a lot more popular.
Yeah.
So definitely there is that opportunity.
Well, I think when, 2020 hit and lockdowns hit, at least in the UK, everyone was made to do homeschool, whether or not they wanted to. So it's definitely possible, especially with the internet nowadays, and everyone's so connected. But
Yes.
yeah, awesome. So you've mentioned that you used to practice for 8 hours a day, and you wish it was 10. It apparently takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in something. So what do you reckon, hour-wise, how much time do you think you've put into playing guitar currently?
I don't know. It's weird because I want to say that I put 10,000 hours in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. But I think over the last, 4 years of my life is really when I've kind of dropped the ball on playing guitar constantly. Um, as I've gotten older, I've had, kids.
Yeah.
I've kind of just shifted my focus on more of the writing kind of side of things. And I'd rather get my 10,000 hours in on that, which I mean, I have, because anytime I'm playing guitar, I was also writing. That's why I actually picked up guitar in the first place and dropped drums, because I wanted to start writing songs. So essentially, I think I have more hours for sure writing than I do on guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar is kind of actually taken a step back.
Mm.
But have I put 10,000 hours on guitar? Oof, I want to say so. I don't even know what that equates to be honest. It's like years, or like how many days that would be if it's 8 hours a day. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Well, Billy Sheehan says a lot in a lot of his interviews that he reckons he's on 30,000 hours. And he is, I've had him on here, he's one of the most humble people ever. He still thinks that he's rubbish. And I'm just like, bro, you're like one of the lead style bass players. Like, you can keep up with fucking Paul Gilbert. Like, what are you talking about? He's just, I think he's a bit sort of self-deprecating, and I think it sometimes feels a bit like it's better to be like that than to be like, yeah, man, I'm the fucking you know, I'm Kanye West, motherfucker. Like, do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, honestly, I think that the I feel like that's actually gotten to me over the last couple of years because I've always tried to be, humble and, never think that I was good. And I think that over the past couple of years of me not playing guitar as much has really shown it's actually weighing on me a lot to where it's like, I'm never going to be that shredder. I'm never going to be that guitar virtuoso that is just the best, And so that's kind of why it's taken a step back and kind of taken that back seat because it's kind of weighed on me so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know what? I'm never going to be Paul Gilbert or anything like that. However, what I can be is me.
Yeah.
And, my writing is always going to be me.
Yeah.
And I think I'd rather hone in on that. And I think that it's definitely shown this year for me, and it's been a priority for mine, for me this year, for sure.
I haven't got this one written down, but do you ever feel like you can pick up guitar and essentially just noodle and jam?
Fuck
or
no.
do you think that it has to be for a purpose?
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes that can get a bit murky, can't it? It can get a bit blended where you're like, oh, this is kind of like my job. And the more you make something a job, the more your sort of passion for it subconsciously drops. And do you know what I mean?
Yes. So, I mean, for sure, yes. I cannot just pick up a guitar and just fucking noodle for days. I'm not that player, and I actually never have been.
Yeah.
Like, and it's because I did this to myself at an early age.
Yeah.
When I was young, when I was probably like, 20s to mid 20s was me at my peak probably. And at least as for my guitar playing. But as I gotten more into writing, it's like and recording, it's like I don't play shows. I haven't played a show, since the last year in 2024. I haven't played a show in 12 years. And so it was all about recording, writing, recording, put it out.
Yeah.
On to the next. You never fucking touch that song ever again.
Yeah.
And
so
you can push yourself to the limits in that song.
Yeah.
But then when you're on to the next song, you completely forget how to play that. And so now it's like I pick up a guitar and I probably couldn't play you a single song of mine because it is so I did it a long time ago. And that's just kind of the way it is for me right now. Actually earlier this year I played NAMM and I had to relearn 4 or 5 of my songs. Yeah. And I actually had to perform them. And I was like, oh, this is fucking hard.
Yeah.
I wrote some really hard shit. This sucks. And when before practicing, it's like I haven't really tried to practice in months. And so you're going from I haven't practiced in months to I have to perform this in a month and a half. Good fucking luck. And so then it's like, oh man, I write some really hard shit. This sucks. And so when you're recording it, you spend a ton of time on that one part that sucks and is hard, and then you never touch it again. So it's I am not the guy to just pick up a guitar and noodle. I wish I was. I was.
Have you heard of a guitarist called Ben Sharp who goes online as a guy called Cloud Kicker?
Yeah, one of my earliest influences, actually.
Yeah, I'm planning to get him on next year at some point, but he doesn't like to long-term book things. It's just not in his psyche. He's quite impulsive, and he's quite like, let's jump on now. Yeah. Whereas I'm the complete opposite to that, but that's neither here nor there. But he also says that he struggles to recall things because he's in like album writing mode.
Yes.
He's done like 12 solo albums at this point.
Oh, I know.
And
it's amazing.
It's all him other than the drums, which is like a sort of digital sort of, what's it called? Drum.
Yeah, it's a drum library program.
Yeah.
Drums. Yeah. But he actually does, that was Chimp Spanner, I believe.
Yeah.
He used to do it with his, actually on his keyboard. I believe he still does that.
Yeah, I used to watch Chimp Spanner a lot on Twitch, but I found it insanely hard to like get his attention. And I don't want to be this kid that shows up in the fucking stream being like, yeah, I love your stuff, come on my podcast. But sometimes, man, that's the only way sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I get that. I'll show up on his streams and I just fanboy because that is also an early
yeah,
influence of mine.
yeah. He's well into his H string, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah. I'll
the
have to check
OG.
that out again. Actually, there's definitely a sense of like I've listened to that, and now Spotify just kind of messes my head up because it's so overwhelming for me because it's literally like I can listen to the Beatles for 6 days or I can listen to like a multitude of Meshuggah and Metallica and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, awesome. Whereabouts in the US do you live and what's the music scene like where you are?
Yeah, so I live in Mormonville, Utah, in the United States. And I would say that the music scene is pretty dead out here. But I think that it's starting to come alive a little bit. I mean, we still get the big bands who will come through, and some big bands will skip Utah altogether.
Hmm.
I don't blame them. But yeah, I mean, I would say that it's on the up and coming as the state gets heavily populated. And yes, I think that it will be something probably pretty massive eventually.
Hmm.
But right now, it's pretty dead. I feel like all of the at least metal musicians out here, I probably know them or
Yeah,
have met them at least
yeah,
once.
yeah. Is there a lot of music studios or music venues? Because I always find that like it's great to have loads of musicians everywhere, but if they've got nowhere to practice and nowhere to play, it's like an ecosystem, isn't it? It's like a food chain.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of venues out here.
Okay.
At least in Salt Lake.
Hmm.
There's a lot, but I feel like again, it's one of those states that big bands tend to skip out on.
Hmm.
Um, you do have your regulars that will never skip it, but like like BT Bam, they'll come out, but then randomly they'll skip the state,
Hmm.
which is wild to me, because they actually pull in a pretty good crowd. But like intervals, they are always
Yeah.
here. Um, so it just depends, and there are great venues here too.
Yeah.
It's not like they're playing dinky video,
Hmm.
venues or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think sometimes bands just have to take a bit of a guess, and if it's worth it, then obviously they'll go back. But it's that initial, this isn't our usual, you know, what do people in America say? Route, not route.
Yeah.
They say
Yes.
route.
Mhm.
To deviate from that sometimes feels a bit of a gamble, but sometimes the gamble's worth the shot.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you make a conscious decision to make long form content online versus shorter, snappier, short form things for your Instagram account?
I don't I don't do it on purpose. It probably shouldn't. Um, but I feel like I'm at a point in my life that I just don't give a fuck. Um,
Okay.
Especially when it comes to social media. Um, Social media is interesting for me. And like this
Mm.
year I've really taken a step back from social media. Um, and I have people that will whisper in my ear about, playing the game and that you need to play the game. And I'm at a point where right now I refuse to play the game.
Yeah.
Uh, you can have many, many followers,
Yeah.
and it does not equate to streams, which is
No.
the thing that matters most, is that my music is getting out there.
Hmm.
But I can make a video that sure might pop off, get
Yeah.
15,000, views, 20,000 views, but not a single person is listening to my music. Now, that is not a complaint or anything. It's just
No.
an argument to be made that followers don't really fucking matter.
Mm.
So I'm going to do really whatever I want as far as the form and the content that I put out. I'm going to do what's fun for me, what I feel is meaningful to me. But yeah, it's not really a super conscious decision. It's just more of what I feel like I want to put out at
Yeah.
that time.
I always get a bit conflicted with this because running a YouTube channel myself, I've just hit 500 subscribers, and that's a nice number. And
Yeah, that is.
some people have hit 600,000 by the time I've hit 500, but I don't care. Like, if you want to fucking paint yourself blue and say I only ate blue things for 24 hours, then that's fine. You do you. But I always used to, and I don't now. I used to ask my audience what kind of videos they wanted. And I was like, yeah, but like they're probably not actually that bothered. So I'm just going to do what I enjoy, and hopefully the crowd shows up.
Yeah,
Because if you're
definitely.
constantly like, please subscribe, please like the video, please buy things from the sponsors of the podcast, it's like, Jesus Christ, you're just this giant sort of walking billboard that's just like Charvel amps and Clayton guitar picks and Marshall amplification. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like, just
Yes.
be yourself a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I mean, I completely agree is you just got to be yourself and you just got to do what you love.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you just, the thing is that if you're just trying to chase the algorithm and if you're
Yeah.
trying to chase that win and that lottery pull, you know, you're going to get burnt out so fucking quick. Because you're going to pull on that, you know, that lever over and over and over and keep on spitting out shit. And finally, maybe one gets, you know, pops off and then you go to do it again and it doesn't fucking pop off.
Yeah.
And you're like, what just happened? I just had a video pop off and my next 5 are absolute shit. The
Yeah.
thing is they're not shit. It's just it didn't pop off. And that's okay, but that's when the burnout happens is when you don't get the results that you expected. That's how burnout is created. And I saw that pretty early on after a couple of my videos. And I was like, oh, okay, this is why people get burnt out is because they expected certain results and didn't get it. And now I get that. And so it's like, okay, well then just fucking post what you want to post.
Yeah.
And just do that. Let people inside your life and your music and your art and just do that.
Yeah, I hear the phrase chasing the dragon a lot, where you're almost like, oh, that was a hit, so I'll just keep doing that. And the recipe's the same, you know, the result isn't the same. And it's like you get in your head and you start overthinking. And I think truly one of the remedies for overthinking, as someone that overthinks quite a lot, is just do shit.
Yep.
Just do stuff. Stop worrying about if it's going to do well, because you'll actually replace doing stuff with thinking about doing stuff.
Yes.
And it's not all going to get millions of views.
Exactly.
That's fine.
And when you find a formula that does work and it doesn't work, you know, moving forward, that's when people pivot. And when they pivot, it's like starting over again. And then they burn themselves out trying to figure out what this new kind of pivot is. And it's just this endless cycle. And you're seeing that a lot on TikTok right now, which is, you know, people's random videos will blow up. People try to do it again and they get 50 views, 100 views, nothing, like absolutely nothing. Which, you know, some people will argue saying, David, but that's, you know, that's 50 people watching your video. You should be grateful. And it's like, yeah, but those are people who probably swiped and just skipped.
Have you seen someone watch TikTok?
It's it's fucking nuts.
It's like
swiping for days. Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. That was 3 hours of my life.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even know what you've just seen.
No, I know exactly.
Short-term retention is completely gone now.
It is completely gone. And, you know, TikTok is rewarding people, which is such a fucking scam, actually.
Yeah.
They're rewarding people for posting 10 times a day.
Yeah.
If you're a musician, you can't keep that up. I'm sorry. Even if you are a guitarist who can just pick up and noodle their guitar, you're not going to be posting 10 times a day.
No.
And if you are a guitarist, your ideas are going to run out quick. And then you're going to be so focused on posting 10 times a day that you forget what really fucking matters. And so you're going to get burnt out quick. Now, the content that is, you know, blowing up on TikTok is the talking heads. And a lot of videos that are blowing up are complaining videos. They're either complaining videos of, man, TikTok told me that I should post 10 times a day. And I don't get it. I'm posting 10 times a day and it's not popping off. That video popped off. TikTok just fucking rewarded you. Which is nuts. As soon as they raise a stink, they reward them.
Yeah.
Then the other videos that, you know, pop off are the people who are doing the Lord's work or TikTok work, which is, guys, in order to make it, you have to post 10 times a day. Those videos are popping off because TikTok is going, ooh, we'll reward these guys for pretty much doing our sales pitch for us. And if you are a band, it just is not sustainable. It's such a fucking scam. And I can't believe that I actually can believe it, that a corporation will reward this of, hey, if you stay on our platform all fucking day, and if you just pump out ass, we'll eventually reward you with some money. That is insane to me, because then we're losing the purpose of what social media is. It's because it's not social media anymore. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. And so that's why the people that are popping off nowadays are talking heads, because that's the entertainment. There's some value in it. There's some stupid, shitty story with a punchline, something. And that's being rewarded. And that's crazy to me, because I remember the days of even Instagram of just doing a cool guitar lick could pop off. Not now. Not now. Unless you're a guitar virtuoso who is just one of the best and already has a big following, that shit ain't popping off anymore. So the game has changed for sure.
Yeah, completely. I think TikTok's a weird one as well, because to me it seems like a Ponzi scheme, because I used to do original content on there, and now I've just started clipping stuff up from podcasts and just putting 40-second clips of already existing content on TikTok. And most of my videos get about between 3,000 and 4,000 views over 48 hours, and then they completely fall off a cliff.
Yes.
But it doesn't convert in any other social media realm. So I could get 4 million views on TikTok and 2 subscribers on YouTube, and that's just not worth it for me.
So that is not a TikTok problem. That is all social media, because it's not social media, it's entertainment now. And so if you look at my video, which I've reposted 3 times now, on Instagram, one of them having 4 million views, and then the other one having like 2 something, and then the other one having 1 million. Those have gotten me a ton of followers, which is crazy. But those followers do not equate to streams. Not a single one of those people are going and leaving that site and listening to my music. Now, and that's what matters to me the most. This is why I kind of do that type of thing, is so I can hopefully the idea, right? The game was make these videos that maybe might be intriguing to somebody to get them to click on your music. But it doesn't happen. They'll like, they'll share, they'll follow, they'll do everything but that. And the reason for that is I believe that everybody on social media, entertainment media, is trying to entertain other people. So that's why you get a bunch of shares. Hey, check out this funny video. It's all about sharing the funniest. That, to me, this is Instagram in a nutshell, which is I want to share the funniest fucking meme to my best friend while I'm shitting on the toilet. That is Instagram. In a nutshell. Nobody is on there to discover music anymore like they used to. Nobody's in that discovery mode, really. And so it just creates this, I think, toxic, relationship between a musician and what social media is, because it's not social anymore. It's what's in it for the viewer. And if it's not funny, and if it's not heartwarming, it's going to be probably not seen. So till this day, my streams have not gone up because of those videos. My followers have, my likes have, the views have, but not my streams. Not a single person. I can see the analytics, and that's not like me complaining at all. That's just the world that, that's just the world we live in. Is that it's almost impossible to get one person on this app to leave that app and go to another app. And so if they're not discovering on Spotify or Apple Music, you probably won't be discovered, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult to break out now. Yeah, I know, like back when I was playing bass semi-professionally, it was all about physical networking and walking up to bands and being like, hey, dude, I'd love to support you again. And I love your guitar. I love your amps. I like the rest of the bands that you're in. And please consider my band for future events. And then it went from physical to social, because obviously this band might be 3 hours up the road, and you then rely on social media to keep that relationship at least semi on fire. But yeah, I've always been quite good at sort of approaching people in the wild rather than, obviously you're in America, otherwise I would have come over and bought you a drink or something. But it's a bit tricky when it's a geographical, boundary, but
definitely.
it's tricky.
I mean, that's the one good thing that, this day and age has done is connected people that are across seas in different states, different countries. It's a lot easier to connect with people, which is great. But it's the everyday consumer that we can't seem to connect with anymore, because we are in the day and age of doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And nobody is connecting to people really on that deeper level.
Yeah.
As far as musicians go.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't see anybody today who is just now breaking out really and doing a really good job with growing their audience like crazy and going from absolutely nothing to, a ton of streams. It's just, it's not happening today, at least not on the social media side.
There's one band that I can think of that potentially might be the exception to this. Is it Tim Henson from Polyphia?
Oh, yeah.
He seems to have done quite a good job, and he's obviously befriended Steve Vai, and Steve Vai's in one of their songs. And now I went to a music studio this weekend, just gone, and he's got signature Ibanez stuff.
Yes. No, Tim Henson has done very well. The problem is that one's a little different though, because he started back in 2008.
Wow. Okay.
So he's been grinding for a long time now.
It's the air quotes overnight success that actually takes a decade.
Yeah. I mean, so I remember watching Polyphia videos when they were kids. And I wasn't too much older than them. I was beyond jealous, by the way, because those kids can shred and were awesome. But I remember being back in Southern California where I grew up. And so I moved to Utah 10 years ago. So this was probably about 12 years ago when they were starting to pop off. That is a completely different day and age than where we are today.
Yeah, it is interesting how the landscape's constantly moving, even underneath our feet whilst we're talking now.
And a lot faster.
Yeah, everything's fresh for 6 seconds. I think there's a game I used to watch quite a lot of people on YouTube play called Getting Over It.
Okay.
And it was a guy in a cauldron. It sounds crazy if I've got to describe it, but essentially he's got to climb this mountain. And there's a point in it where they describe the internet, and it's just this digital asset wasteland where everything is like refresh.
Yes.
And just, everyone's like sort of Dory from Finding Nemo, where people just forget things immediately as soon as they happen,
Yes.
So it's an interesting time, definitely.
That's funny, and that's very accurate too.
Supreme CBD. Okay, this isn't just a normal ad read. This is stuff that I genuinely believe in. And as you can see, I'm using quite a bit of it at the moment. Are you getting enough sleep? Is your sleep hygiene good? Is your overall anxiety at a good level? Is it manageable? These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. So for me, I think Supreme CBD is the best in class. I've used other companies previously, and their oils and their edibles are just absolutely fantastic compared to other brands. The Bears are super popular, and they're currently doing an offer which is unbelievable. If you use my code BEDLAM40, you can get this offer for just under £65. and the size of the tub that they are selling with this bundle is 5 times the size of this. So with that, you'll get a 3,000 milligram oil, 3,200 milligram tub of bears, and you'll get a free gift. So if you use the code Bedlam40, you'll get that for just over £65. Also, everything on their site is 40% off if you use my code, which is Bedlam40. And this stuff is just absolutely fantastic. I'm genuinely really surprised that I'm getting on as well as I am with this. And I'm not being paid to advertise this. So yeah, you can get them in different strengths, depending on your mood, depending on what you think you need to function. So thank you very much for supporting the show. And back to it.
Absolute bedlam. We are back. We have empty bladders and full hearts. Let's go for that.
This is very
Really quickly as well, I've just remembered in between the Zoom recordings that this actually needs a name. So please let me know down below in the comments what you think it should be called. It feels a bit like Dave's got an idea. Do you have an idea of what it should be called?
How about Sharp Tooth or One Life, One Sting?
Oh, what's Sting? Yeah. Is that a Toby Morse reference for the One Life, One Chance podcast? My friend that did that for me on the 3D printer said it should be called Cardi. Because obviously you did the video with the WAP.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
thought I'd mention that as a bit of a blue thread, isn't it? But awesome. All right. So in terms of doing videos that get a lot of traction, in terms of peers and other IG accounts that I would consider to be, 200k deep in followers, people like the singer of Papa Roach. I saw that Rabia Massad had commented on your 2 fingers to increase the pleasure.
Yes.
Do these people then reach out to you after they've followed you, or do you reach out to them? Because obviously now that you can do that, and if someone follows you on Twitter, you can then DM them, for example.
Yeah.
Or is it just a nice little bit of reassurance that you're sort of in the right direction, if that makes sense?
I'd say a little bit of both. It depends. Like oftentimes, so this is kind of weird, but anyone who follows me, I will click on their page. A, I want to make sure they're not bots. B, like I just kind of want to thank them as well. And really anybody who is well known will usually get some sort of thank you message from me for following me, because that's I'm extremely grateful. So I've had a few conversations with these idols of mine after I thank them. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. I will reach out, but no matter who you are, if you're following me, I've seen you. So you don't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things of mine that I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate every single one of my followers. And anybody who shares my videos, I will always make sure I go and like it, comment, say thanks for sharing, because it means a lot to me. So yeah, I have had interactions with most of them.
Yeah, I remember I messaged Rabir on Facebook because apparently 4 years ago I was a complete boomer. And he actually responded to me because I absolutely love Tosca's EP, Ode to Author. I think it's genuinely one of the best instrumental EPs I've listened to in the last 10 years. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. That means a lot. And I was like, this is kind of just as I started doing a podcast. And now my brain goes to, oh my God, I need to reach out to him. And I'm trying to sort of temper that a little bit and to sort of just be like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's fine. But I'm surprised sometimes that the people that I message actually, even sometimes it's enough for them to just read the message. And obviously Instagram, you got the double tap heart thing, haven't you?
Yes.
It's a weird feeling sometimes when, like I've said this hundreds of times now, but when Wheatus followed me back on Twitter, I literally had to put my phone down for like 5 hours and just like sink it in
Mhm.
and just be like, that's absolutely mental that the bands that release Teenage Dirtbag know who I am
That's
and why do they give a damn about me?
yeah, it's
You know what I
an
mean?
awesome feeling. People
Yeah.
we've listened to for years, people that my parents listened to,
Yeah.
have reposted, my video. It's a crazy feeling.
Mm.
It's awesome. I love it. It's one of those. I will say that's the one thing that I do miss about trying to chase that kind of dragon,
Yeah.
right? Is if you don't, you're not going to get those cool experiences. But
Completely.
it's definitely it's a trade off.
So now that you've been doing this for a while and you feel like you've got quite a good sort of rhythm and you know the process behind sort of waking up from a dream and I need to do this kind of video, I need to write this kind of song. What keeps you motivated nowadays versus what used to motivate you in the beginning, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I think that the answer is still the same.
Hmm.
I've always been a pretty driven person. To I guess just progress
Hmm.
in anything that I do. I'm a very routine person as well.
Yeah.
And very um, structured. And so for me, it's kind of always been the same. I've always been driven to put out music. So I would say that the drive, the reason for my motivation hasn't changed too much. It's been very selfish. Now, over the last few years of having kids, that is when it's changed a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like on that kind of aspect,
Mm-hmm.
as it became a little bit more or less selfish. And finding the reason to keep going. It's like you have kids now. What's the point? Like, just be a dad, be present, and just do that. But there's a big reason. There's a bigger reason for me, which is, show your kids that there is, you can have meaning in everything that you do, and it's you got to strive for something in life. Have a dream. Doesn't matter how old you are. Have that hobby that is more than a hobby, but you unfortunately have to tell everybody it's a hobby because or else they don't take you serious. Um, you know, Strive for something, have a goal. You can be, 60 and putting out, your first album. It doesn't really matter, but if you love something so much, get after it and be the best you possibly can. So, like, that's kind of where it's changed a lot over the last few years is I've kind of, shifted from, a purely selfish thing to I kind of want to keep this up for my kids so they know they can, also hear me in a different light, in a different way as well. It's not just me, playing with them and, or parenting them, disciplining them. They're now actually being able to hear me in a different way. And that's through my music.
Yeah.
And that to me is very special because when I die, they will have something to be able to remember me for.
Yeah.
They can listen back to my music and, maybe grab a different feeling, a different aspect that they didn't see before, and kind of analyze that, and it will live on forever. And so definitely it's changed over the last few years. But I mean, as far as the reason for the motivation, it's always been the same. It's just a part of my life, and I can't imagine my life without music. I've always asked myself this question constantly, which is, if you were alone on another planet, would you still write music? You would be surprised at how many people say, no, what's the point?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, fuck yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
Like, because I write it because I love music. I love hearing, this sounds awful, but I love hearing my music. I love creating it. It's a fun process for me.
Yeah. It's interesting how vocalists seem to hate their own vocals. But guitarists, I would argue that if you listen to enough instrumental music like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Russian Circles, Yngwie Malmsteen, Jeff Loomis, insert guitar name here, you can actually hear them through their instrument.
You can.
And would you say, this is actually a question that I've got written down a bit later on, but we can ask it now. Would you say a lot of that technique and language and voice is in the hands versus the gear that they use?
Yes, 100%. It's all in the hands, but it's also in the mind as well, as far as how you want to express it. The technique needs to be there, obviously, but if you don't, you can kind of play one thing and then play it another way and get a different feeling. And that to me not only comes from the technique, but also from how your mind, how you want to, do that part. And it might be because you're interpreting it a different way in your mind. And if you do it this way in this technique, it will kind of show up a different, way.
Yeah.
That's a little confusing, but I don't believe it's all in the hands. I believe it's also in the mind as well, and the writing.
I'll try and find a link later and send you it, but there's a really just crazy fish out of water video I found on YouTube, and it's Joe Satriani playing on a beach with like a 15-watt Roland Cube, man. And he plays Starry Night, and it sounds like he's in a studio.
Yes.
And I'm just like apparently he's got like the softest hands, to the point where he actually has to say to his wife, I'm really sorry, but I actually can't do the dishes tonight. Like, I know that sounds like a massive, like, slopey shoulder moment, but if he's got like a 14-date tour, and I haven't actually seen him live, but I know when he does like 14-date tours, he takes like one night off. He actually has to really think about things that I would consider to be quite trivial.
Okay.
But apparently if you like shake his hand, apparently it's just like the smoothest thing.
You just got the hand of a unicorn or something.
Absolutely. But yeah, just little things like that. But yeah, I'll try and find that video because it's just really, I think it's like a news, like CNN doing like part of his like album release cycle promo or something. But yeah, it's really interesting how I just couldn't believe how, because I can't remember what companies these were. It was with PV for a while, amp wise. And then he did something, I can't remember to be honest, but he can basically say, I want to work with Marshall, or I want to work with Axe Effects, and they just go, what do you need, Joe? Must be crazy. Speaking of gear, I need some help actually pronouncing this. Is it the Gotta guitars?
It's Legator.
Legator. How long have you been involved with them?
Oh man, I think I've been endorsed by them for, I think it's been 4 years now.
Okay.
4 years now, yeah.
Do you play them exclusively, or do you occasionally switch?
I do. I have a few other guitars that aren't Legators, but I have my go-to, which is this one behind me.
Yeah.
And I that one's my favorite guitar, like hands down. That is my go-to. And they're coming out with some new cool guitars that I also would like to get my hands on, because
That's good.
These guitars are getting even better every time. So I'm stoked for the company. The company is awesome. They're very, very nice to me. They treat me well. So
that's fantastic. With the red headstock one, sorry, I don't know the types, I don't know the models. Do you find, because it's got fan frets on, hasn't it? I can see from here.
Yep.
Do you find switching from fan frets versus traditional frets? Do you find that there's like a weird, like 10-second, I need to get used to playing it this way shift?
Honestly, I had no idea until I like started playing it that they were fan frets. So for me, I can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
To be honest, it didn't take any getting used to. I think if anything, it was just easier. So like it didn't take any getting used to for me, at least.
Yeah, because I noticed when I was playing, I think I've played a couple of fan fret bass guitars, and I didn't notice because I felt like the the pivot of the fret is more at the bottom of the guitar.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just playing it normally, but
Exactly.
a lot of people seem to be scared that they're going to accidentally play the fifth fret rather than the third fret because it looks slanted.
No, yeah, you get used to it real quick because it just feels more proper almost.
Yeah. So what make and model is the red headstock one to your left?
Is the FX8, I believe. NFX8? Ooh, or NX8. I can't even remember. Sorry, Legator.
We'll let it out.
I think it's the NX8, I believe.
Yeah. Cool.
Couldn't tell you what that stands for.
No.
Other than 8.
Yeah.
I can tell you that's 8 string.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And do you, obviously I don't care about money, like truly I don't care, but do you receive like a discount when you buy a Legator, or do you get them for free?
They do a good job. They hook me up every so often with a guitar, which I'm extremely grateful for. So no, they definitely treat me well there. It's a really good company.
Can you have too many guitars as a guitarist?
No. God fucking no. No way.
It's the most straight answer I've ever received from that question.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, you can have too many to where you won't play them all.
Yeah.
But you're always going to play one. You know, one of them will always be played. And usually that new guitar is the one that gets played. But
what tuning do you traditionally play in?
I have a weird tuning, which is so my 8 strings. I've never played. This is weird, but I've never played 8 string in standard, and I've never played it how it's supposed to be played with 2 bass strings. I always set mine up to have 1 bass, 1 treble. I got introduced to this by Chris Letchford from Scale the Summit. When I was a wee lad, when I think I was like 18, I believe that's when I got my first 8 string. It was an agile guitar. And at the time, the music that I was playing, I was like, I don't need to go this low. Like, who am I, Sugar? What the fuck? Like, I don't need to go this low. I don't make that type of music. And so my lowest that I wanted to go was, G. So I am in G, C, G, C, F, A, D, G. So I have an extra high G string, which is a pain in the fucking ass, and it snaps quite often.
That terrifies me with playing guitar, because I've always played bass. I played guitar for a bit, and then I played bass, but even the G on the bass, I'm like, this is gonna fucking snap and kill me.
Yes, I've learned to not bend that string very much, or else it will snap every time.
Yeah.
I've only once bent it really hard on purpose, and the time I did it was when I was recording a song that's not out, and I ended up snapping the string on that bend, and that take actually is in it. Okay. In the song. So, which I'm extremely excited about.
Awesome. Love that. Stay tuned for that then. Just looking at your other endorsements on your profile. Happy Cable Company and the String Source.
Love them all. Great products.
Can't say I've heard of the String Source before, but it's good to see.
Strings.
It's good to see other companies other than, the monolithic D'Addario, Ernie Ball.
Yes.
Fender, Gibson.
I highly recommend String Source. I mean, you literally get to customize your string gauges. So for me, that's very helpful because I have a weird ass tuning. And so I'll never forget having to buy 2 to 3 different packages to just be able to set my guitar up once. Yeah.
There's something that Brian Bella from Def Clock and Joe Satriani, and insert crazy band name here, and the Aristocrats as well. He used to get a 5-string pack on bass, and he would throw away the thinnest string.
Yep.
And then he'd have telephone cables, because he'd actually tune it up.
Gotcha.
it's just like what a crazy way to approach bass. And
Yeah, that's
also
wild.
the amount of money he must have lost. Obviously, he's probably endorsed, but you think every single pack you're throwing away strings
Hmm. That was
every
me.
time. Yeah,
That
that's
was
so
me.
crazy, man. Yeah, yeah, the economy. But now that's not a problem for you, so that's fantastic. Yeah,
Yes, I'm glad that that is not a problem for me because that would suck.
yeah. Awesome. How do you usually hear from fans and followers? How do you find? How do they find you? Sorry.
They usually find me from my pleasure video.
two fingers in like this, and then put your thumb on top like so. That will increase the pleasure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite usual. Um, and every now and then I'll get the, musician mansion kind
Hmm.
of notice. And then it's very rare when have people who actually follow me because they heard my music somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah. There's always this like funnel and this like, how did you get to play this crazy stadium or venue? And there's always this entry point, and
Yes.
it's interesting to see the behavior behind that and how it can like develop into people coming to see you live or people buying your new album. And
Mhm.
yeah, and also like we said earlier, people's attention spans, like they're just constantly follow, 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 and they almost don't realize that they've actually followed you until the next day when you show up on their newsfeed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and,
Mm,
and and oftentimes that doesn't even happen,
mm,
actually. They'll follow you and they're following about 3,000, 5,000 people. They ain't ever seen you again.
mm. Yeah. You have to consciously manually search for your profile and
You have
go
to, in
back.
order to see someone's like, I mean, the algorithm has just changed. I can tell a little bit. It's doing a little bit better job of that, but like, you have to actually engage with
Yeah.
that person's profile often for it to constantly pop up.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Interesting times. Your band Chronicles. I don't want to
Yeah.
do a recording without mentioning them. Um, for potential new listeners, what would you say that you guys sound like? Because you are a duo, if that's correct.
Yes. That's a interesting question. I mean, I would usually just say prog metal, um, is what we sound like. I mean, it's a mixture of my favorite bands. Everything that I really wanted to do, especially that first album.
Mm,
Um, mixture between Protest the Hero, The Deer Hunter, Between the Buried and Me.
mm,
Um, that was kind of what I was going for.
yeah.
And I would say this new album coming out is not too far from that. Just a lot cleaner and better.
Yeah. There's one song I listened to earlier when because I always like ramp this up until I've got 2 hours notice, and then I
Yeah.
listen to someone's music because I just find it sticks in my head better than listening to them in the car for 2 months before actually recording.
Yeah.
Alive, the outro to that doesn't have any music or any words, but you know exactly where that thing is. It's a hospital bed, isn't it? And it's like a life support machine.
That's right.
And
Yes.
like that was really interesting to me that nearly everyone in the world probably came to that conclusion when they listened to the song that that's what that medical equipment sounds like. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's interesting how you sort of portrayed that without actually ramming it down someone's throat, you know.
Yeah. That was the purpose. I mean, the the whole album is a concept album,
Mm,
so I really wanted to. It's really hard for me to do things without words,
mm,
and to have this thing specific thing that I wanted to do. I knew that I needed to have captured these sounds. Like, how could you do it to where this person is, in a hospital bed? What are you going to do? Like, without any of the, beeps and stuff like that, those machines, like that's going to be hard to pull off. So I knew I had to do it. But I hope that when people listen to that, they are a little thrown off. because I know sometimes I still am if I ever listen to it, which has been years actually. But like if I listen to it, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I hope it throws people for a loop and
Mm.
it, you know, makes people question a little bit like, wait, what is this? Wait, what did I just listen to?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what happened.
I think that's actually quite important in an album to have like lulls and peaks. And I've listened to so many albums, man, where it's like, oh, second album's the heaviest album ever, and it's literally them like playing at you for like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's like, fucking hell, I need to lie down halfway through this because I'm getting old, man. I'm 36 now, you know, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
And sometimes
definitely.
it feels like it's sort of just Cubase gone mad. It's just like 700 BPM for an hour straight, and I'm just like, yeah, good luck actually trying to play that live.
Yeah.
But
No, definitely.
yeah,
It was, yeah, I am a big fan of concept albums.
yeah,
I if there's one thing about me that is wild, it is if I don't have music on my mind,
mm,
I have some sort of you know, story in my mind or like visual in my mind constantly going and keeping me awake all night. Unfortunately, it's a problem. But like the creativity doesn't stop. And that's kind of when I started to notice that I was a better writer than I was musician, was that the creativity just is constantly flowing, which is a good thing for me. But like the stories, I have stories for days. But
yeah,
like all of my albums will be concept albums. They will always have some sort of meaning. I'm never going to do something just because I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool.
yeah,
You know, like that's just not the type of writer that I am. I kind of wish it was, but that's just not, yeah, that's not me. So it's a problem for me, but it's a fun problem to have.
yeah. No, I see what you mean. I felt like I jumped into the deep end listening to your music earlier with is it Shazaru? Is that
Yeah.
the song?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
that's a single, isn't it? Versus the album.
That is the single that is probably the simplest song that we have. And we did that on purpose, actually, because I knew following it up from Chronicles, the album, The Forest, I knew that like because we didn't release any music for like I think it was like 3-4 years, and so oh fuck maybe 5.
Yeah,
I knew that we couldn't just throw in like this, you know, some technical shit again. It's like, well, what if, because the game has changed.
yeah,
And so it's like, what if we try to reel some people in with some kind of simple stuff? Because this was actually a throwaway song. It's not on the album. It won't be on anything else. And so it's like, well, let's just release that first. You know, we did that a long time ago. Let's just release that. And so we did that. It's actually gotten the most traction so far out of all of the releases I've ever had. So that's great. But yeah, so we're gonna throw everybody for a curveball when we actually release the next album.
Yeah. How did you meet the vocalist?
Yeah, so the vocalist that I have today is different than the one that is on The Forest.
Okay.
So those are two different vocalists. Both of them are still very good friends of mine. Wesley, he is also actually the guy who always does all my mixing and mastering. He's my go-to guy. He's my good buddy. And Adam was in a band that I fell in love with, actually. And they were kind of, I thought this band was going to be huge. It's called Salem. And I was listening to them one day. I can't remember how I stumbled across them. I want to say Drusif actually posted about them a long time ago. So anyways, I stumbled upon them and I was listening to this band. I'm like, good God, this is so good. And this guy's voice is like very unique and he's got some really good range. Like, I wish that I could work with this guy. And so unfortunately for that band, they put out their album and about a month later, the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And so they, I think, had a falling out because they were kind of jaded a little bit because they had plans to tour or play shows, and that just kind of fell. So they just kind of went their separate ways, and so I did my nice little sneaky move, and I just slid right into that guy's DMs. I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
bro, I like your stuff. I like your style." So
Yeah.
then started working together pretty quickly, and that's where Shizaru came in. And then I was like, "Hey, how would you like to actually do a full length album with me?" And he was down, and here we are 4 years later, pretty much.
Let's go.
So, yeah,
Yeah, you don't shoot your shot, you'll never know.
exactly.
Absolutely. When you have to do the trash, David, do you know which bin you need to take out on which week? Or do
Fuck
you
yeah.
have to... So you're a bimfluencer. That's what they're called in the UK. So
Oh,
they
what?
know a bimfluencer. So
Okay.
when someone goes out with confidence and they know that it's recycling night,
Mhm.
everyone in that street references this guy, and they know it's recycling night as a result.
Okay, shit. I kind of want to take back my answer.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident,
Yeah.
usually. Like, I'm pretty fucking confident.
Hell yeah.
But I always look to see what everybody else is putting out.
Yeah.
Because I am the guy that will put his trash at, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so I will make sure that there's no other blue trash cans and that I just kind of slipped up.
That's it.
But yeah, so I'm pretty on it though.
Because I feel like a full red-blooded bimfluencer occasionally fucks everyone up just to see, how culty can this get, But yeah, good stuff. Is there anything that you want to plug, or do you have any questions for me at all coming to the end of the conversation?
No questions other than I just appreciate the conversation. This has been great.
No worries, dude.
Very, very grateful. As far as plugging things in, I mean, this next year is a huge year for me. We'll see what I can put out. But I took a step back this year to focus on a lot of stuff, and I probably have around 16 songs coming out next year. A lot of collaborations, full length album, and yeah, it's going to be a good year. I'm excited. Worked my ass off to be able to put it all out next year, but like this is the go big or go home. So this is like the big things coming soon. Kind of rant, I guess.
Yeah, I think you have to breathe out sometimes, because when you're always on and you're like sort of in character, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
there will be videos that I want to do. Like, I haven't abandoned social media. All right, like I will. It's gonna get there, but it's gonna be on my terms and what I want to do. But like, as far as like what's most important to me, it's like consistently putting out music. Like that is most important to me. And unfortunately for me this year, I put out, my album on the solo side, and then I put out, Shizaru like a month later, and that was all at the beginning of the year. And so then I was like, oh shit, I don't have anything else in the pipeline. But this next year, I will literally have like at least a song to maybe even 2 songs every month releasing. So this is going to be a fun year for me and a very, very fucking busy year.
Oh yeah. It's crazy how far along we are this year already, but
oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously. And like to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just kind of writing the rest of this year off, to be honest, because it's already gone, I feel like. So might as well don't even release anything right now. Just like, fuck it. Just wait until the next year.
Yeah. Last thing for me is I really appreciate that I reached out to you a while back and you said I'm just absolutely screwed. Like I literally don't have any time, and I think potentially something happened in your life. And I was like, I actually need to reach out to this guy again, because there's been so many guests, man, where I'm like, please book me in for 6 months. and they're like, yeah, maybe, and to me, maybe is a swear word.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't operate on maybe. And there's been so many guests like that where I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, we just can't make it work. Like, I don't know when I'm going to be free next. And sometimes I schedule these things week to week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that this actually happened. And thank you for everything that you do. And hopefully I hope that you get some messages at some point. I'm sure you've had some already that just say thank you for trying to sort of brighten my day. And today's been really shitty, and your videos have helped, and your music's helped. And I hope that continues, because sometimes I think we lose our sense of purpose and we lose our why, and we feel like we're just swimming with one arm. And I think it's important.
I feel that. Never lose the why ever.
Yeah.
Like, just keep going no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
do it because you love it. That's what really matters. Is because you love it, and just keep going. There's no reason to stop.
Yeah. Don't lose sight of that vision, though, because for me, it's all about becoming the best interviewer I can possibly be, and everything else.
Good job, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But like, when you start YouTube, you've got like 100% energy, and everything is trying to take your energy from you. And you're like, oh, fuck, I need to put Instagram posts up. Oh, fuck, I need to sort the next guest out. And then you're operating at like 55% energy. Yeah. And then it just feels like you're just getting smashed into the ground, into a paste. And you're like, oh, my God, like, this isn't why I wanted to, my intentions are good here. So why am I being told that I'm not selling enough CBD products to the sponsors, to the overlords? The overlords.
Gotta pay your dues, bro.
Absolutely. But yeah, this has been fun. So thank you very much for making time. I genuinely appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, man.
Stay in touch. All good.
All right, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Take care.